I began and finally finished a saga of my own approach towards the hero's journey and all in all initial handling of the protagonist throughout the story, and this is an appendix, although it should have been a forward. I just wanted to add that my own perception of the term hero's journey is just that I don't know the official definition, nor do I know the structured analysis of what it is and what others consider it to be, so it could be proclaimed as wrong or incorrect. What I know about it and feel about it comes solely from reading, watching, and playing more than I should have had, but it's what I am going to use for my own stories, and honestly, all my knowledge or lack of it comes from me reading a lot and barely recalling bits and pieces that I've either learned at school or from various other media, meaning that most what I'm talking about in these videos comes from my interaction and my conclusions from interacting with other authors' work, and mostly my own first impressions because I have a hard time and lack of interest in dissecting stories. I am thus much more inclined to take them at a face value, oftentimes missing or ignoring the finer details or even some of the intentions behind the work. And I am aware of that, and maybe that will change in the future, same as my taste in stories changed so drastically in the last few years, and that may also change my own approach towards storytelling and what I consider important or palatable. But for now, I just want to enjoy stories without thinking about them too much, since thinking about them even a little bit led me to where I am now. Anyway, this is for the introduction, and now for the Rapid Arrows and their newest adventure. They were tasked with helping the ranger protect the forest while being able to enjoy some camping. So they set to investigate where the poachers might be, while also looking for the perfect spot for their hut. After a lot of climbing, trying to figure out the best way, with Speedy being envious of the fact that Bubbles has 4 legs, making the climbing for him much easier, they reach this forgotten valley with an entrance to a cave. Looking around the entrance, Speedy notices some shoe prints. They put Indra on guard duty in front of the cave while the rest are going to engage. Indra being left alone, all nervous, while the other boys are wondering how are they going to explore the cave without a source of light, when they notice lanterns hanging around the walls, so they light up 2 of them, clear evidence that someone lives in the cave. They then find more signs of someone residing there, fireplace with some utensils, and even some beddings, comparing the place to some bandit's nest. It is also clear that there isn't just one of them. While that's happening, Yindra hears something and tries to desperately warn the rest of the club members that someone seems to be approaching the cave and that they need to run away. They hear him, but they also hear some steps, and it seems that the way out from where they came in is closed to them, so their only choice is to venture further into the cave and maybe hope for another entrance. We then see two men wondering where the band of boys disappeared to. They are fully set on capturing the boys. During the intense chase, Mirek reminiscens that they've been in many dangerous situations and it always somehow ended well, but this time things seem to be really desperate, with Speedy crying in response that it's such a pity that it's happening now because there is this great poppy cake waiting for him at home. He does have his priorities set quite straight. The two men are almost catching up to them when Mirek notices a patch of blue sky, and at the very last moment they reach another exit from the cave system, get outside. Speedy, as usual, head first, face into the grass. They set course to the ranger's place while shouting for Indra, hoping to find him as well. When they reach the ranger, Indra is already there and explained everything to him in advance. Indra is elated that the rest of the club was able to save themselves, so they lead the ranger to the cave, and in front of it are the two men. They receive a stern warning and are chased away. The ranger also promises them that if he sees these two tramps ever again, there are going to be much bigger problems. And then it's finally time to get into building the rope hut. Next, we have the adventures of Whistler and Fatty, two boys living somewhere around where most of the adventures of the Rapid Arrows Club happen. Our introduction to them is through Whistler coming to Fatty's house, shouting into the open window for him to come out. Whistler being a young boy wearing a cap and a trench coat, both in violet color, with a pair of brown trousers. First one to emerge from the Fatty's family window is their dog, who just barks at Whistles. The next one is a younger brother of Fatty's, who with a heavy lisp informs him that Fatty is currently busy and can't come out. Next one who emerges is the grandfather, who berates Whistles that the boy woke him up and if he could next time make racket quietly. And then finally, Fatty appears full at work to earn and keep his nickname, stuffing his cheeks, and Whistles proposes the idea to him that they'll go down to the city and maybe they'll encounter something interesting, some event, which Fatty agrees to, but he just needs to finish his meal. Fatty being another young boy of certain proportions, wearing a full set of blue clothes with a blue cap on his head. They reach an outlook that offers a great view on the lower part of the city. They talk about visiting a place they've never visited before, venturing further than ever, and when they are at the outlook, Whistles feels it in his bones that today will be a day when they will experience a great adventure, with Fatty hoping for it to be a huge pile of dumplings or a big cake for him to eat, and his only other concern is to be back home for dinner. They get down the stairs and are ready to jump right into the fray. And the next thing they see is a large group of boys running either from someone or somewhere quite ferociously, wanting to avoid any unnecessary friction. They decide to wait it out in a nearby passageway with whistles saying that they might as well explore the passageway further into the yard. They reach a tall wall with some crates underneath it, which Whistles uses to peer over the wall and see something that makes his heart beat much faster, discovers something that's wildly beyond anything he might have imagined before starting today's adventure, and quickly yells at Fatty to join him up there to see it as well. And this is where I'm going to stop for today. Next time I have some more things that I think are worth saying about protagonists and my approach towards creating one that I would be happy reading about. And then I'm also going to continue with more Rapid Arrows adventures. Although right now there are going to be a few more of this unlikely duo of the Whistles and Fatty. So that's going to be for the next video.